All righty, friends, thank you for joining us for the I'm going with November. No, it's December.
It is December.
It's December 4th. Please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excellent. Ms. Martin, roll call, please, if you don't mind.
Chairman John Paul Rea.
Yep.
Vice Chairperson, Mr. Eli Cooper is excused absent. Miss Sheila Cote, excuse me.
Present.
Dr. Curtis Ivory is excused absent. Mr. Royce Manico.
Here.
Miss Diana McBroom.
Here.
Mr. Assad Turkey.
Here. Thank you, Ms. Martin. Appreciate it. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Been moved?
Second.
Been supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Ms. Martin, can we please have the certification of public notice?
SMART will hold its Board of Directors meeting on Thursday, December 4th, 2025 at 2 p.m. at the Beale Building, located at 535 Griswold Street, Suite 600, Detroit, Michigan 48226. The agenda can be found on SMART's website. Members of the public may also submit a written comment by emailing by 1 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Requests for reasonable accommodations at SMART require advance reservations. Public comment will proceed as follows. All comments 3-minute limit per member of the public. Public comments will be received in the following order. 1. Members of the public who attend in person. 2. Members of the public present via Zoom. 3. Written comments via email. This meeting is open to the public.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Appreciate that. Next, we are going to move on to 6A. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the audit committee meeting minutes for October the 23rd, 2025.
So moved.
Move.
Second.
Support. Excellent. Appreciate that. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, Chair would entertain a motion to approve the board meeting minutes for October the 23rd, 2025.
So moved.
Been moved? Supported? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All righty, friends, we're going to move up to public participation, item number 7. As always, any individuals in the public looking to address the board, if you could please come to the podium and identify yourselves, we'd greatly appreciate it. For all those listening online, we are going to start in the room here, and our good friend, Brother Cunningham, is here. How's it going, Brother Cunningham?
All right, good to see everybody.
Good to see you too.
I always start off, if it's DDOT or council meetings, it's about phone number 313-444-9114, 313-444-9114, 313-444-9114. That number was made so you can remember it. So I would like to see on all the fast lines, it may not be able to put a shelter up, but if you could find a sponsor to put benches. I am so tired of seeing my people with canes and walkers and all kind of stuff just standing. I think that we should have benches all down every fast route, all up and down. If you don't have shelters will be best. But if not, benches at those stops. And if you know anybody who's into grant writing or knows how to beg in the proper way, different corporations or businesses to sponsor those benches. Make sure there's Wi-Fi on the coaches that's working. If it's broke, please repair it. Someone in power came to me and said, oh, 90% of people in Detroit have a phone. Okay, but the angel is in the details. The 30% probably the phone is not on. Okay, and some of them don't even have data on their phone. So I'm out here giving out hand warmers, gloves, and bus tickets, east, west, north, and south, and I'm encountering different walks of life, and I'm saying at least 20 to 30% phone is not on, or they don't have data on their phone. And there is an app There's many apps that they can text and call on those apps. That's a lifeline. That is a true blessing, those apps. And so if we have Wi-Fi on all coaches, even if it's broken, fix them. On the older coaches, put Wi-Fi. Anywhere where there's a bunch of buses coming in, like at Fairlane, like at St. John Hospital area, you get the idea, where there's Wi-Fi and some benches everywhere. Whatever you've done unto the least of these, you've done unto me. That's what God said. So 313-444-9114 is that number. That's also my cash app for the hats, gloves, and bus tickets. God bless you and thank you. Happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you as always, Brother Cunningham. Any other members of the public looking to address the board this afternoon? Hey, Joel.
Good afternoon and happy holidays. I'm Joel Batterman. I'm a Wayne County resident and campaigns manager for Transportation Riders United, TRU. As you probably know, SMART is proposing some fairly extensive changes to the transit network in the coming year, based on the recommendations of the Smarter Mobility Planning process. As we've expressed in our comments to SMART staff, TRU is generally supportive of these changes. We're especially looking forward to the proposed frequency increases on fast routes, the new Route 100 serving Hamtramck, and the re-extension of the Van Dyke and Fort Street routes to downtown Detroit. These will all improve the convenience of the service for riders. We do want to emphasize, however, that overall, frequencies within the SMART system remain low, with most routes running only once an hour. In order to better serve existing riders and provide a more attractive option for potential riders, SMART must work to increase frequencies and service hours throughout the system. It's worth noting that currently a total of 7 DDOT routes are running every 20 minutes or better during peak hours, whereas even with the proposed service improvements, only 3 SMART routes, the fast routes on Michigan, Woodward, and Gratiot, will do so. Additionally, all but one DDOT route runs every day of the week, whereas a number of SMART routes do not run on Sundays or even Saturdays. We continue to urge SMART and regional elected officials to seek out opportunities for more investment in the system in order to provide a higher level of service. Finally, while we applaud the fact that SMART has reached a full complement of drivers, we would like to urge the agency to redouble its efforts to hire skilled mechanics. As shown in the board packet, nearly 1/4 of budgeted mechanic positions remain vacant. This probably contributes to the shortage of operable buses that SMART has often experienced, and it must be corrected to provide reliable service for riders. We wish a happy holiday season to all and look forward to working with you in the coming year. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Joel. Hey, Robert.
Good to see all of you again. It's been a minute since October, but for the record, Robert Plowski. I'm the Smart Advisory Council member at large. I'm also a transit advocate, longtime Smart rider from Southgate, Wayne County. Today, I want to gear some of my comments to most of the accomplishments this year that the agency has been able to achieve. You know, being able to sit on the Smart Advisory Council and see a lot of the input that's been put forward to us riders has been truly amazing, and be able to give the feedback needed to be able to improve service. From the recent hires and driver capacity, achieving the limit to 1 million riders on Smart Flex, to the new marketing efforts in the Smarter Mobility program, to seeing expansion of routes, not just in Macomb and Oakland counties, but in my hometown of Downriver and Wayne County. It's been truly a lifeline to see and talk about it for years on end, or I'd come to board meetings before John Paul Ray was even the chair, that we need service in Downriver. We need better connections in our region. And that is due in part not just to the transparency here by our wonderful staff in the back. There's so many names I could shout out, but I'm going to just keep it as great staff. But Tiffany, out of all people, you've been transparent, you've been an amazing leader, and you've shown true skills on how to connect our region and work collectively on both sides of the aisle, not just in the state legislature, but here at the regional capacity. Your leadership truly shows, and I'm so proud to see you as the CEO, and as well as Tiffany over here. Harmony. It's been one of those days. Trust me, I've been doing exams, so it's been killing me. But Harmony, for her amazing work and seeing the promotion for Deputy General Manager, I'm truly impressed. And then our wonderful board that's seen a lot of improvements, from Diana McBroom to Assad Turfy, for their amazing leadership and insight they bring from a county perspective to improve public transit. There's so many things that we've accomplished over this year, especially our new marketing. I can see Smarty eyeballing me over here while I'm speaking, so I'm trying not to keep my eyes on Smart and keep my eyes on the board. But it's the little things to be inclusive and engaging with a new marketing strategy that shows how everyone is welcome on Smart, whether you're a new rider using Park and Ride services or even just someone that uses Smart Flex to go from Fairlane to Dearborn Transit Center. It's the little things that improve the system. You know, as the Smart Advisory Council member, you know, it's not just that, it's a personal perspective for me. Smart has had an impact in my entire life. I've used it back and forth from work to school, and now with my new role at Oakland Community College, you know, I've seen a little bit change in my lifestyle. So Smart has always been a part of family, it's been a part of community, and it's helped me get by. So keep up the good work. I look forward to such amazing projects that are going to happen next year and the collectiveness that this board and staff will do to be able to advance this system. Happy holidays.
Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it. Any other members of the public looking to address the board this afternoon? Seeing no one here, we're gonna go online. Tiffany?
Chairman Maria, we have one by Zoom and we have 4 email.
Okay, perfect. Let's go first to Zoom. I believe we've got Thomas Yazbek is on. Thomas, you can unmute yourself and I think we'll be able to hear you.
Can you hear me?
We've got you, Thomas.
Okay. Yes, Thomas Yazbek here. Thank you for letting me speak. I just want to say, you know, I'm of course excited about the smarter mobility changes that are coming. And I don't want to dwell too much on that because I don't have any complaints really. I do want to say, you know, for the people that are sort of, you know, asking for more frequency and stuff like that, I think it's worth noting that Smart doesn't have a huge budget compared to other transit agencies that have such a similar geographic scope. And Smart has about almost 200 communities that it has to serve, I think. I mean, maybe that's not the exact number, but you know. So, you know, that's there's a lot of trade-offs involved there. Do we let these communities just have no fixed route service, or do we you know, and do we let all these communities have fixed route service, or do we, you know, only concentrate it, you know, on more productive corridors, right? There's a lot of political things that go into that consideration that I think people should be more aware of. And another thing too is, unlike DDOT, which is a department of the city of Detroit, and therefore, you know, if DDOT needs a place for buses to turn around, if DDOT needs, you know, infrastructure to help support one of its routes, it's relatively easy for them to coordinate with the city, you know, other city departments to get that done. Smart has, you know, again, hundreds of communities, and some of them are pretty grumpy about the fact that they have any transit at all. Some are not, but they may have different demands or different ideas about what their community should look like, which don't make it easy for Smart to operate. And I think a big issue that people, I mean, Smart is definitely aware of this, I think, but there's people in the room who need to be aware that, you know, if there's an issue with you know, an endpoint, right, for a route, or an issue with a road that prevents a route from operating, I mean, that's a huge problem. And Smart doesn't really have a lot of leverage. And so people should maybe, I just think people who are activists or who are members of the public that are concerned about this should maybe think about redirecting some of their efforts to, you know, some of these communities that are having trouble understanding maybe what's needed to make transit work
Thank
better
you,
in
Mr.
Metro
Yazbek. Your
Detroit.
3 minutes are up. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate it.
We have 4 emails, excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Tiffany, if you'd like to give us an overview.
Yes, Morgan will get that.
Thanks. Go ahead, Morgan.
Am I on?
Yep.
Okay. So you don't want the emails read verbatim. Is that correct?
No, you can just give us an overview of the correspondence.
Okay.
And just for the record, they will be filed in the minutes too.
Okay. Our correspondence mentioned that they would like they wrote about they're regarding the elimination of Route 255, which is the Ford Road Express. They they would prefer that route not be eliminated and or combined with Route 250.
Excellent. Thank you, Morgan. Appreciate the update on that end.
Hmm.
Seeing no other members of the public looking to address the board, we will close public comment once, twice, 3 times. Thank you, everyone, as always, for joining us and participating. Next, we're going to move on to the chairperson's report. I want to thank our Vice Chair Eli for stepping in for me last month, and I was traveling and didn't have an opportunity to be here. Also want to applaud the efforts of Tiffany and the leadership team for coming out to the East Side and helping deliver some Meals on Wheels and helping us promote not only the exceptional services that Sheila and her team at OSS help facilitate on the East Side, but showing the strong ties and partnerships that we have, not only combating food insecurity and isolationism with our senior population around the holidays, but really amplifying the impact as we look to expand our volunteer network and create those ties between our communities, which has been fantastic. Also very much want to thank Erica, Ryan, and Harmony for their continued involvement in the conversations with our community providers and providing additional resources to our Board of Commissioners as we are exploring a number of options to not only optimize the relationship we have with all mobility providers in the county, but how that conversation could lead to enterprising conversations with not only our Board of Commissioners, but ultimately with some conversations about modernizing the millage in Macomb County with regards to SMART. So Tiffany, very much want to thank everyone on that front, and I will yield the remainder of my time to you for the General Manager's report.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. I'm going to take a deep breath here because we had a lot going on since our last board meeting. So I want to begin with some, where do I start? All right, let's go. One of the comments that was made about the Smarter Mobility Project, and that process has taken a long time to get here. We're really excited about the positive feedback that we're receiving. The conversation that Mr. Yazbek had online just now about the trade-offs that we had to make with respect to coverage versus frequency is a very real conversation when you're dealing with 2,000 square miles of service area. We did our very best. The planning team with Harmony's leadership and Jordan Van Zenda have done, I think, an amazing job of taking existing resources to create a fiscally constrained plan that we know we can actually implement. So I just want to say that is not an easy task to do. We've been done the better part of 2.5 years now, and going out and having these conversations with the communities. We are excited about the changes that will be made, and with any promise of additional funding, we will continue to make those improvements. But for today, we know that this plan can be implemented, and we're excited about that. Second piece of good news, I do believe I heard this in the public comments from Brother Cunningham, is the Wi-Fi on buses. We are so happy to report that in Q1 of 2026, all buses will have Wi-Fi. My goal is that we have that up in January, and I'm leaning back and looking at our Chief Information Officer for that nod to say that I believe we're on track for January for Wi-Fi on all buses. And so that is, I've given her all of Q1, just so you know. But we're moving on a pretty quick clip with that. And so understanding that phones and data plans don't always go hand in hand, we want to make sure that we're providing that same access for our users. And we're really excited about that moving forward. The next thing is we have had some really good news and some press conferences that have taken place since our last meeting. One is the Transit Mobility app has been rolled out. The RTA in partnership and SMART, DDOT have one app now. It's the Transit Royale, and everybody says with cheese afterwards. So if you're a Pulp Fiction fan, you know what that means. This app allows people to pay for, plan, and go get their ride. It's what we have been talking about for many years, and now it is a reality. So if you haven't already, please download your Transit Royale app. It really works with real-time information. It does not have the ghost buses. You can see when your vehicle is going to arrive. That is what we mean when we say we respect our riders, and that is that in action. So we're excited about that transit app. We held a press conference at the John Hargrove Center a couple weeks ago to roll it out, and so that has been getting a lot of great traction. The other big news, we attended a press conference for DDOT recently, where they announced not only their recent collective bargaining agreement to get wage parity for their drivers with us, which is something that for decades has been disparate to the tune of $6 to $7 per hour difference. They are now earning a wage that is pretty consistent with the industry in this region, and we are very excited for our friends at DDOT to be able to make that happen with their existing budget. They also announced a $50.8 million LONO, the Lower No Emissions Grant receipt that they are going to be moving forward with to replace buses over the next, I believe it was 2 to 3 years. And so with that, it's replacement buses. And we're excited for that. We got a $1.2 million LONO grant, but it is our first, I believe, low no emission grant. So we're excited about that. And truly, people were like, why didn't you get more? It really works with your replacement schedule. So DDOT just had more vehicles up for replacement, and that's the difference that was there. We are happy for them. The better they do, the better we all do. With that, I'll also let you all know, the board already is aware that I was named a co-chair for the Transit and Mobility Committee for Mayor-elect Sheffield. We have our first committee meeting this afternoon, directly following this meeting, and we will be talking about greater ways in which we can work together and have some bold and new innovations for the city of Detroit. So we're really honored to be a part of that as SMART. This is a new territory for a lot of us, and we're really excited to be able to provide those recommendations and move forward as such. So with that, I'll shift into another gear. We did, thank you, Mr. Chair, for already talking about the Thanksgiving kind of volunteering that we did with Meals on Wheels program in Macomb. We did also in Oakland County go out to a nonprofit in Pontiac and delivered meals with that group. And in Wayne County, we also went out and worked with another nonprofit to deliver meals to that number. I have 1,100 seniors, I believe it was, that day. So thank you to the team for showing up. I know I can see a lot of faces. I don't like naming names because I'm going to forget somebody, but I got to give a shout out to Danny, Paul, and Judith, who is new to our team. We got to one of the locations, and one of the orders for food was not there because they had placed it on the wrong date, and I sent them out looking for half pans of macaroni and cheese and green beans and all kinds of things, and they found it. So we not only provided rides to deliver meals, we also rolled up our sleeves, and where we saw an opportunity to create some help and be a partner with those groups, we did that as well. So that was a Saturday afternoon. I drug my kid into it and some of his friends as well. So trying to teach that spirit of service to others was definitely something that was fun for us to do, as well as for our drivers to participate. Still going. Got a couple more things, if you don't mind, Mr. Chair. I was able to go out to Impact, the Impact Board. It's a national mobility organization. I've been on the board since 2018, and I was able to participate in a CEO panel that talked about risk, reward, and resilience, and had a really good discussion. SMART is getting a lot of visibility. That was in Portland, Oregon, just yesterday. That was yesterday. I was in DC for the Leadership APTA program, which I graduated from just earlier this year. They invited me back to talk about sort of the first 90 days of the CEO. That program really deals with, those that are in that executive space trying to elevate, and they wanted to hear kind of the real deal, the drinking from the fire hose. So I was able to sit on that panel yesterday and have a great conversation, which was an honor to go back so quickly to a place that I think was very transformative in my life. We also participated with the Western Wayne Conference meeting 2 weeks ago, and I did a small presentation to them just before we started the public hearings for Smarter Mobility. So we got some good feedback from them as well. I've already talked about Wi-Fi on buses. I'm going to keep going. Couple more things and I'll be done, I promise. This month we are doing our annual pass giveaway for the holidays. We did something different this year. You may have already heard about it if you haven't. We created a competition, a contest for us to be able to give away 3 annual passes. And what the competition is we're asking people to submit their video stories and a small blurb about their transit story to us. In return, they're entered into a sweepstakes so that we can then provide, do sort of a random sweepstakes and they can give out those 3 passes. What we hope to accomplish with this, and I'm again, shout out to the Marcom team for getting this moving, is that we want those stories. Typically comes around when we're doing education and people go, are these people even real? But when you have those video stories and people are saying, yes, you can share my story, it makes transit real and humanizes it for folks. So it is definitely something that we'll get in return, but being able to provide an annual pass is also life-changing for people as well. So we're excited about the participation that comes from that. My deputy and I will be donning our Santa and elf gear and going out to the random locations that they're making us go to ride buses and give out passes this year. Board members, you are welcome to come with us. You do have to wear a costume of some sort so we don't feel too awkward. However, we are excited about getting out there and really kind of raising the profile. For years, SMART has done the annual pass giveaway. We really just haven't promoted it in the way that we're doing now. So we're excited about that. It takes a lot of energy, but the team is up for it. I am down to, I believe, my last thing, and I don't think I forgot anything. We are 2 things. We have the board administrators conference coming next year. Our team internally has sort of created a small committee to start looking at sponsorships in order to host committees from the American Public Transit Association. You do have to raise sponsorships to be able to host those committees. So we're starting those conversations now with a few folks that we believe would be good sponsors. And we want to kind of have you guys talk to us about who you believe might also want to participate in something like that. And then last, but definitely not least, we are working with, thanks to the work of my Chief Marketing Officer, Mr. Parker, and Truscott Rossman, working with the North American International Auto Show. For the first time in the history of the auto show, we will be participating in a panel during Industry Week to talk about transit and mobility innovation. And I, for one, could not be more excited for this opportunity for us, again, raising our visibility, our profile, and having this conversation on the North American International Auto Show stage really speaks volumes. It took a couple of key talking points. I shared them with you, Mr. Chair, that this is a $97 billion industry. We should not be sleeping on that. And there are only 2 bus manufacturing companies in this nation. We have a Buy America clause. There is an untapped opportunity, and we should be talking about that on that stage. So they bought into it pretty quickly, and we're like, we'll figure out how to get you on the schedule. We have our letters signed, and we are a go. So that is a big win, I think, for SMART and for transit overall. And with that, Mr. Chair, I know there's more. There's a presentation I wanted to acknowledge some people. Can you guys bring that up real quick, and then I will be done. I completely forgot there was a slideshow. They're going with it, guys. But it's only 4 slides, promise. I'll be quick. You can go to the next one. Oh, got that. Oh, got that. Oh, is it a video? It's been another great day here with SMART and our partners at Community Outreach Services and Oakland County, delivering meals for our seniors. It is a wonderful way to be a part of the community, and SMART's just happy to be able to provide the vehicle to get these important.
Apparently, we're working on Wi-Fi in buildings.
To all the folks who asked for them. So yes, as you said, we had an amazing time. We partnered up to make sure we was able to pass out meals for our seniors. At eCommunity Outreach Services, our focus is to connect families to the right resources, provide support and mentorship. And today I felt like we did just that. Thank you from our community partners for allowing us to be a part of it and making this happen.
Yeah, our community partners together, we can't do this alone, right? The county can't stand by ourselves. That's why it's so amazing to have partners like SMART and ECOS, right? Mm-hmm. And, we're here to really try to bring attention to the food insecurity happening in Oakland County. And so we were here today, these amazing community partners offering food and giving food to our seniors here.
Well, we're back again doing some more great work, making sure we're getting meals to our seniors. I'm standing here with DICE, with the Love Our Kids Family and Community Project,
Yes.
and Mr. Aaron Petway. They have been working so hard to make sure that these meals are ready so that we can feed our seniors. And I mean, it smells so good in here. I wish I could send that smell through the camera, but just again, SMART is happy to be part of the community, serving alongside these two great leaders.
Yes, no, great. We thank y'all for participating. This is our 5th year. I think it's 6 locations.
Yeah,
six locations from Detroit, Highland Park to Pontiac. So this has been great. Over 1,000 seniors, 1,150 to be exact. So we needed smart transportation services to help us to do what we were doing because we'd have been worse off than we are now. So we thank y'all. We commend y'all jumping right in once y'all heard what we was doing. So we appreciate it very much.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Like I said, the 5th year, I'm already looking for next year. You know, so it's a blessing to be a blessing. When these seniors coming here, you're gonna see their faces, their smiles. They ready to eat, we ready to serve. So again, thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank
Really
you so
do.
much.
Yes, thank
This is great. Today was a wonderful day. We worked together in partnership with Meals on Wheels. We thank you so much for everybody, especially Linda, who has been doing this for 6 years. This is SMART's opportunity to be part of the community which we serve. And so we're just so grateful for all of our volunteers today. And we're going to keep going throughout the week and making sure that folks that want a meal can have a meal. So how about that, Mike?
Appreciate it, Tiffany. It was a great opportunity for us. Our folks working with our senior department do a great job of getting out there and actually helping deliver the meals for the seniors in Macomb County. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of the people that volunteer their time are seniors themselves. So it's interesting to see the seniors giving back to other seniors. But SMART getting involved and helping out with people like Linda and obviously Tiffany being here, you could tell the moment you actually knock on the door, they open the door, they experience the fact that these people are saying, you know what, there's somebody out there who cares and is willing to at least stop by my house, deliver a meal. It's something that many of us don't really have to think about, but fortunately there are people out there that do think about that and are there to support them. So thanks for all you do at SMART, and again, folks like Linda, I tell you, they're unique people, and they're very caring and giving. And in Macomb County, we have a lot of that.
And we had a lot of fun while we did it too. Just a little bit.
My career quest is a day where high school students get to do some career exploration and get some hands-on knowledge and experience doing some of the jobs that we do here at SMART. So today we have our electric EV bus that is battery operated. We have people here from our planning and innovation team to talk about scheduling and routes and how we get our buses from point A to point B. And then we have our mechanics where they are having students working on an engine, and they are tinkering and figuring out what it takes to actually be a mechanic here at SMART. And we're so excited to be here.
So we're starting young on our recruitment for mechanics. We are definitely trying to do that. Hit that next slide. It's been another great day. All right, keep going. Aha. All right. So we have a couple of folks we want to acknowledge. I'm not sure if Alyssa's here today, but Alyssa Gartrell was recognized as a 40 under 40 in Macomb just last Friday, I believe was the event. So we're really happy to see Alyssa, who is manager of our community partnership program, which has definitely made a difference in the community and simplifying for our subrecipients, our community partners, the process for working with SMART. Next slide. And then we have, and these two people really hate recognition, so I put them on the slide together because they didn't want to be on it at all, is Quincy Lewis, who is our social media guru, who I have had to defend from being poached several times, has won 4 awards as best producer in podcasting and in his world outside of SMART. So as much as you see the marketing and communications and social media for us, Quincy has really nationwide recognition as a producer in this field. So we just want to acknowledge Quincy back there for his great work. He's standing in solidarity with Luan, and I'm sure they are not happy about this, but Luan was also recognized by Cranes Detroit business as a leader in sustainability in the region as well. So that is a big deal. And we just want to make sure that we are recognizing our folks for the recognition they're getting. And he's trying to disappear right now, but please don't. You deserve it. Well earned. And thank you both. Thank you, all three of you, for the great work you continue to do. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I believe I'm done.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. As always, appreciate the update. Any questions, comments, insights from members of the board? Seeing none, we will now move on to agenda 10A, the quarterly ridership report for fixed and flex and paratransit. And I believe Jordan and Danny are going to help us with this one. Jordan, how we doing, man?
Doing well, Mr. Chair. Thank you. Members of the board. The fixed route ridership update we see on the slides here, there were a total of 1.95 million passenger trips on smart fixed routes in the third quarter of calendar year 2025. It's on the next slide, which I have the clicker for. There we go. I always forget how to use this thing. All right, this represented an increase of more than 84,500 or 4.5% than the same period last year, which is big. The top ridership routes by county are on par with last year. Fast Michigan and Gratiot Local saw very minor shifts in numbers, while Fast Woodward increased by more than 35,000 rides or 17.6%. Right. Now just to highlight quarter over quarter ridership increases on fixed route service. The lines here represent the totals on each route that had a significant year over year increase for the quarter, including the percentage increase there at the end of the lines. The red line is July through September of last year, and the blue line is this year. 10 routes saw ridership increases greater than 8%. And these include both new routes implemented in 2024. Thank you.
Thanks, Jordan. Got a question. Oh, we'll let Danny go. Oh, real quick, Jordan. Assad's got a quick question before we hand it off to Danny.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm missing it here, but do we keep track of any decreases we've had?
Yes, we keep track of everything.
Okay. Is it in this packet here? Is the decreases in here?
I don't think there.
No, I did not include
Presentation.
decreases, but I can provide you that information afterward if you'd like.
Excellent.
Please, yeah, it would help.
Other
Appreciate that,
questions?
Jordan.
Nope. Thank you.
Danny, what's happening in Flex World, man?
Hey, good afternoon. We're going to start with the paratransit world.
Let's start there.
All right. Waiting for this to catch up. All right. So our weekday ridership remained strong over the last quarter. We did see kind of a dip over the summer in ridership as the schools in Macomb County, especially where we generate a lot of ridership, are off for the summer. But again, seeing still strong ridership over the summer months. Going back into September and as a little precursor from October, we're seeing that rebound back into the fall. So seeing increases going into the fall over last year. As we look at Saturday, I know we've talked a lot about the weekend growth. We continue to see that. So Saturday in August, we saw a growth of over 100 rides. Going into September, we continue to see that growth, and we're seeing that continue through the fall. Sunday, again, we're seeing the biggest growth, especially going into the fall. Over 150 more rides on Sunday in September this year compared to last year. And as we talk about changes from Smart Mobility and more routes going live on Sundays going forward, we're going to see that number keep increasing. So overall, seeing a positive trend. July, we had an increase in ridership. August, we saw a little bit of a dip, but then again, it rebounded going into the fall as we traditionally see year after year. Any questions on the paratransit side before we move to Flex? All right. So going into Flex, we are seeing historic ridership highs month after month. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I've skipped one. Let me go back. Our on-time performance. So I know last time I presented to you, we talked about the impacts of the 696 closure. We have installed a blockage in our software that reroutes all of those trips. And we had talked about, we were monitoring that. As that's taken effect, we are seeing our on-time performance go back up into the 90%. So that closure has had a positive impact as we expected it to. So less people are being impacted, drivers are being routed the correct way with that freeway closure. So that will go into Flex. So Flex, ridership highs month after month. In September, we eclipsed 33,000 rides in a given month. So last year at this point, we're at 30,000. It continues to grow. I think the highest peak to date we've had is 1,400 rides across the 5 zones. And I think that if Jim, if I'm not mistaken, that was Election Day, right? Election Day, when rides were free. Shocking. Right. But it is not just an individual day that we are seeing those highs. We are constantly talking to our provider VIA, and they're talking to us about daily highs, weekend highs, just seeing the growth, continued growth. Kudos to them on working with SMART as we've worked with JP and other county leaders on parking lots. The hours that are saved by deadheading have been put back into the service. That has reduced seat unavailable rates, and that has contributed to the increase in ridership as well.
Danny, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
With regard to the zones, do you have the numbers broken down by the zones?
We do. We can provide that to you. I can tell you Pontiac still remains the highest ridership. Dearborn has really grown since we installed the Dearborn lot. Hall Road and Farmington remain strong. Troy has the lowest ridership, but it's also smallest zone. So the other zones have all seen growth kind of in par.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have a question, JP? Nope. Okay. So the average pickup ETA is something we continue to monitor as well. And while we've seen growth this year, again, it's not something that is startling. So about 20 minutes, in most months for an average ride response. We did see a growth to 21 in September, but again, ridership is growing too. So more rides, but not a lot of increased wait time for passengers. And then as that coincides with the cost per trip, which has plummeted this year. So last year going from last year to this year, we did have a rate increase, but the increase in ridership has offset that on the cost per ride. So we are seeing declines of that from where we were at this point last year, $21.33. We're now down to under $20 a ride. So with that, I will entertain any questions the board may have.
Any comments from members of the board? Danny, as always, appreciate the information.
Thank you.
Chair would entertain a motion to receive and file the quarterly ridership reports.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Been moved.
Second.
Supported. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next,
thank-
our award-winning steward of sustainability, Mr. Burt. I believe we're going to talk about our fleece assessment update.
Greetings, Mr. Chair, Smart's Board of Directors. For your visual aid, I actually supplied you a copy of actually Smart's past and present. If you take a look, this packet right here represents Smart's new maintenance plan.
It was the handouts that everyone received.
This is our present. This was Smart's past maintenance plan. Over this assessment, you can actually have an idea of all the work we put into this. This PMA inspection sheet represents Smart's past PMA inspection. This packet right here represents our new PMA inspection sheet. These inspections are done every 8,000 miles. So we took an aggressive approach to really beef up the actual maintenance that we're performing on these vehicles every 8,000 miles. On May 23rd, 2024, The board approved a resolution allowing SMART to enter a contract with Lone Star Transit Asset Management. Today, I'm providing you an update on their findings, recommendations, and action items critical to building a successful maintenance program. Our goal is to provide SMART with the tools needed to maintain assets effectively while complying with FTA and state regulations. Lone Star began reviewing SMART's existing TAM plan, the Transit Assets Management Plan, SMART Maintenance Plan, and previous FTA and triennial review reports and related documents across all departments. This also included interviews with SMART staff. They analyzed preventive and creative maintenance procedures, inspected 53 random selected vehicles, reviewed the materials control program, and some of the key findings. The maintenance and materials management programs are outdated. We did not have any KPI tracking and was totally missing from SMART maintenance plan. There was no documented SOPs for inspections and repairs. 60% of the mechanics had less than 5 years of experience. No formal onboarding or training for new maintenance staff was available. Inventory ordering is manual systems and they were all not integrated. Finance and maintenance software require automation. It was their recommendation to update SMART's preventive maintenance plan to align with industry standards, develop KPIs and performance goals, share broadly across the organization, create SOPs to ensure consistency and quality, enhance training programs, and leverage vendor support until staffing stabilizes. Implement onboarding processes for maintenance employees, integrate maintenance and finance staff with systems to reduce manual work. As we implement these changes, stronger vendor contracts will be necessary. I will return to the board in the coming months with a proposal for these arrangements. Thank you for your continued support as we work to provide a safe and reliable transportation for our communities. I would like to add, when we did this actual assessment, SMART had 19 vacancies for mechanics. Since then, we only have 1 vacancy as of today. Across the authority, we had over 40 vehicles down. As of today, we arranged around the 15 vehicle mark.
Wow.
It took a lot of work from our mechanics and staff, as they rigidly stressed to actually get these buses out on the road. It was tough, but we're not stopping. Any questions?
Thank you as always, Mr. Burt. Really appreciate the update. Any questions from members of the board on this agenda item? Seeing none. Tiffany?
I'm not going to add anything to Lawan's report, as I believe he covered the work comprehensively. What I do want to do is acknowledge his hard work. This was, when he says it wasn't easy, that is an understatement. This was a stretching and a growth for this organization, the likes of which I don't think it has seen before. Working from some decades of disinvestment in the system and trying to turn that around, and thinking outside of the box. I want to give Lawan tons of credit for opening up the mind and saying these are the things that are possible so that we can get these vehicles back on the road. That's the kind of thinking that we've been challenged by our advocacy community and ourselves to do for a long time. It is being done. So good job, Lawan.
Excellent. Chair would entertain a motion to receive and file the 2025 asset maintenance plan.
So moved.
Been moved?
Support.
Supported? Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, Ryan, I think we're going to talk about some dollars and cents.
Yes, that is the plan.
Keith's here too. Well, and the whole team
We got
is.
Keith
Man.
and Plan Moran. So today we are presenting the completed annual financial report and certain other audit reports that we'll go through in just a moment. We did hold an audit committee meeting on October the 23rd where we dove into this information and the findings. in a lot greater detail, so we'll be a little brief today. So our plan is to just touch on some highlights, go through everything at a very high level, and kind of turn it over to see if anybody has any questions for myself or for our external auditors at Plant Moran. Before I do turn things over to them, I do want to mention there was one finding in our single audit report related to subrecipient monitoring. This issue was identified during our FTA triennial audit. The single audit goes to a different federal department than our FTA triennial audit, so it's not a repeat finding. It is that finding, just it also goes on this report. Okay. We have been working on the issue for a few months now. Well, we do have a plan together, and we'll be reaching out to our community partners by the end of the year to schedule various additional monitoring activities to comply with the FTA. And with that, I will turn it over to Plant Moran. I'll bring up the report on the screen here. I'll share in just a second. And feel free to stop us at any time if you have questions.
Thank you, Ryan. Good
Keith, what's
afternoon,
happening,
everyone.
man?
Happy to be here to go over the results of the financial statement audit for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2025. My name is Keith Szymanski. I'm an audit partner with Plant Moran. Amy Tidar, the engagement manager, is here with me as well. Happy to say we have many positive results from the audit and that the audit went very smoothly. I want to thank CFO Ryan Byrne, members of his team, and the many others throughout the authority who assisted with our audit. We began planning for the audit back in the summer. We were on site here for 4 weeks in August and September and wrapped up the audit shortly after that. I'll turn things over to Amy right now to go over the financial highlights.
Thank you, Keith. So we can start, Ryan, with the opinion letter.
Opinion letter? Cool.
So as Ryan's getting that pulled up, we're happy to report that SMART has received an unmodified opinion this year, which is essentially a clean opinion and the highest level of assurance that we can provide that the financial statements are free from material misstatement. I do also want to talk about halfway down the page there, we have an emphasis of matter paragraph this year. This is just calling the reader's attention to the fact that SMART adopted a new accounting standard this year, GASB statement number 101, compensated absences, which just relates to the calculation and recognition of compensated absences in the financial statements. SMART did properly adopt this standard retrospectively, which means there was a small adjustment to restate net position as well. Now we can move to the statement of net position. Just high level here on the statement of net position, I think the biggest highlight to talk about is the decrease in your non-current liabilities. This decrease was about 50 million this year. And the driving factor behind this large decrease is really your net pension liability. So just a reminder here that pension is measured as of December 31st, 2024, because that's MERS most recent year end. And this is important because if you recall, during last fiscal year, SMART did make a large contribution to pension. Because of timing of that, you are now seeing the impact of that large contribution on the liability this year in the 6/30/25 statements. So currently, as of year end, the pension plan is funded 93.6%. This is up just under 17 percentage points from the previous year. That is awesome. And to add to that, we often talk about OPEB when we talk about pension. So I'll throw that in. It's not coming as a liability on your statements. It's actually an asset. So another opportunity to clap. I'd say you're over 100% funded and have been for a couple of years now. We can quickly cover the statement of revenue, expenses, and changes in that position. Just some highlights here. So moving to the next page.
Sorry.
Operating revenue is relatively consistent with last year. Your operating expenses are up about 25%, and then your non-operating revenue and capital contributions are up about 20%, which driving that is a combination of property taxes, federal grants, and state grants, which includes your Act 51 money.
And remember, this is the year where we settled the collective bargaining agreements, giving raises to all of our employees. So that is the largest component of the increase.
Absolutely. Overall, 14 million was added to net position this year, and SMART continues to be in a good position to take on future needs and challenges. So I will give it back to Keith to go over the single audit report.
Thanks, Amy. Appreciate it.
Thank you. To briefly cover the end of audit letter addressed to the Board of Directors, it is in 3 sections. Section 1 are required communications under the auditing standards. This would provide some insight into basically how easy it was to give that clean audit report, the unmodified opinion that Amy mentioned. And there are very few exceptions or any findings noted in this letter. So it does go to show that this was a very clean and smooth audit. There were no disagreements with management, no difficulties encountered in performing the audit, and no misstatements that we identified as part of the audit. So it goes, again, tremendous credit to the finance team and the great work that they did throughout the year and in closing the books at the end of the year. Section 2 includes 2 recommendations of items that we identified during the engagement. Number 1 was driven primarily by the agreed upon procedures engagements that we do with some of the community partners, in which we review the reports and the data that they provide to SMART when requesting reimbursement. We have consistently noted some issues with the timing and the accuracy of the data reported to SMART. So we simply recommend that SMART follow up on the findings that we identified this year, consider doing some additional monitoring, and more than anything else, consider some additional guidance and training for those community partners. We're finding that the mistakes that they make often are not, or rarely, if ever, are intentional. It's just honest mistakes or mistakes because they weren't clear on what they should be reporting to SMART. So some additional guidance and training would be helpful there. Number 2 relates to grant best practices, and particularly with timing. There's inherently some delays in the process from when work is done, when invoices are received, when all that information is gathered and reimbursements are sought from the federal government. But to the extent possible, with the portion of that timeline that SMART can control, we recommend they minimize the time it takes to gather that information and request reimbursement, particularly in times of uncertainty when there may be shutdowns or questions as to the availability of federal funds. Getting those reimbursement requests in on a more timely basis will help to ensure that SMART gets their due reimbursement more timely as well. Then lastly, section 3 of the letter are just legislative and informational items. Nothing specific to SMART and nothing that I was planning to cover in any detail unless there are specific questions. Included in the reports, there is not a final single audit report at this time. We were awaiting the release of the federal compliance supplement, which just came out last week, right before the Thanksgiving holiday. We have, however, completed all of our work based on a draft that was available earlier this year. There were no significant changes between the draft and the final version, so it'll just be a matter of a week or 2 before we're able to finalize the single audit report and issue that. But as Ryan mentioned, there are no findings other than the repeat item from the triennial report. With that, I'm happy to pause and see if there are any questions from the board.
If I heard this right, it was a 17% increase in the total funded on the pension system.
Yes.
All right. What was the direct, you would say the single reason for the major increase? Was it market return, or was there any particular investments made into the system?
Market return was positive during the year, but the authority approved a large lump sum additional payment on what was required that was included in this last measurement date. So it was in calendar year 2024, which flowed into this year's financial statements.
How much total money is in that fund?
We made a $60 million additional contribution, so that's above what we're required to make as it relates to employee earnings. In 2024, it would have been those were made between February and June, that $60 million. But that's not reflected in the pension liability because that liability is measured at December 31st every year. So in the previous report, or where you're comparing year to year, that liability was measured as of December 31st, 2023 and 2024 as you look at our comparative report.
Okay, so the obviously it's the 60 million is the reason for the big jump.
Correct.
Okay, got it, understood.
And if I can add to that too, what we were able to do was It was not, it was in crypto. What we were able to do was use ARPA funds to plus up the general fund account so that we can take those dollars and apply that 60 million creatively for the pension.
Understood. Sit on the pension board, so 70% is a significant
Yeah.
increase, and being funded at 97% is beyond the gold standard. So so just curious on what it took. Maybe help out of some other places as well. Well, good job.
Yeah. Excellent. Thanks. I appreciate it. Any other comments from members of the board? Royce.
Were there any additional Gatsby requirements in this audit?
Amy mentioned GASB 101 related to compensated absences, which is paid time off, primarily sick and vacation time that was implemented. We also considered GASB 102, which would require additional disclosures if there were any events related to concentrations or constraints on the authority's resources or spending abilities. There were no such events, so no disclosures were triggered during the year.
Do you anticipate any new requirements for the next fiscal year?
The next two, 103 and 104, are both effective for June 30, 2026. They're relatively minor compared to 101 and some of the recent ones we've seen in previous years. It may result in some reclassifications. The income statement will be structured a bit differently with a new category for subsidies. But other than that, it will have a fairly minor impact.
Thank you, Royce. Any other any other comments from members of the board? Seeing none, right, I believe a motion to receive and file the presented audited financial statements.
So moved.
Been moved,
Second.
supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Keith, Amy, thank you so much as always to our friends at Plant and Ryan. A tremendous amount of thanks to you and the entire finance team on that side. Very much appreciate that. Alrighty, I believe we are now going to move on to new business. We are going to start with item 12A, a resolution for service modifications with service equity analysis from Jordan.
Hello again, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Staff recommends board approval of the resolution authorizing the Smarter Network Year 1 fixed route service modifications for 2026 and submission of the corresponding service equity analysis report to the FTA. These changes constitute the first of 4 years of phased recommendations that emerged from the Smarter Mobility Program, a comprehensive multi-year evaluation of all of SMART's services, which engaged community leaders, technical experts, and the public to develop the Smarter Network. Staff have undertaken a complete review of SMART's key performance indicators, including headways, ridership, vehicles, and driver allocations to ensure capacity for these service changes. I'm available to answer any questions.
Jordan, thank you. I know this has been a topic of conversation, not only with the public, but very much appreciate the comprehensive analysis from the entire team. Anytime we discuss service modifications, we're always mindful of the impact it not only has on the efficiencies in the system, but providing more service to the individuals that live in our communities, which is great on that end. Any other comments from members of the board on this item? Seeing none, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the resolution for service modifications with service equity analysis. Been moved. Supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Jordan. He's going to
Thank
come
you.
back though for 12B, resolution for authorization to award a contract for a Pontiac Mobility Hub development analysis. Jordan.
All right. Staff recommends that the board adopt the attached resolution authorizing the award of a contract for the Pontiac Mobility Hub development analysis to T.Y. Lin International Great Lakes, Inc., located at 400 Renaissance Center, Suite 2600, Detroit, Michigan, 48243. This is a 3-year contract from January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2028 with no renewal options at an amount not to exceed $190,036 for the 3-year period. This project will entail site selection analysis, public and stakeholder engagement, and conceptual designs for a mobility hub in downtown Pontiac. I'm available to answer any questions.
Jordan, really appreciate the insights on this matter, as it will undoubtedly be a monumental transformation for the county seat over in Oakland. And from your friends on the east side, we're big fans of the R&D model, rip off and duplicate. So whatever you do, we can do it on the east side. Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Been moved?
Support.
Supported. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
All righty, next, Sean is up for 12C, a resolution for authorization to award a contract for employee benefits consultant. Sean, how are we doing today?
Good, how are you?
Oh, just hanging out.
All right. Smart Staff recommends the award of a contract to Manquin Vance for employment benefit consulting services for 3 years with 2 one-year renewal option periods. The 3-year base contract amount is $275,000. Option year 1 is $100,000 and option year 2 is $105,000. The total not to exceed amount for the contract is $480,000 if Smart chooses to exercise option years 1 and 2. The employee benefit consultant will assist Smart in marketing, negotiating, management, and administration of Smart employee and retiree benefit programs, including ensuring or helping to ensure compliance with the Michigan Public Employers Health Benefits Act. Smart solicited the contract through an RFP process, and Manquin Vance was determined to be the most advantageous to Smart with price and other specified evaluation criteria being considered. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Sean, appreciate the presentation today, and obviously with the dynamic costs and pricing and benefits, anything that we can do to sharpen our pencils on that is always beneficial. Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Been moved?
Support.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Next, Danny's coming back up. 12D, a resolution for authorization to award a contract for paratransit software integration project manager.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Smart Staff is recommending the board approve the authorization to enter into contract for paratransit software implementation software integration project manager to Nelson Nygaard out of Boston, Massachusetts. This is a 3-year base contract with a not to exceed of $472,478.41, as well as 2 one-year options for a not to exceed amount of $591,187.81. As Smart is working to procure and implement a software scheduling technology that will be utilized by Smart as well as the community-based providers, we are looking to bring in this project manager to help outline the implementation schedule, the training schedule, the install of tablets, and make sure that this project really goes off as scheduled. They will be responsible for the scheduling in its entirety, working with the communities and really outlining who's going to get the software and in what trajectory over the next couple of years. So with that, I will entertain any questions the board may have.
Thanks, Danny. Appreciate it. Any comments from members of the board?
I have
Sheila.
a question,
Yes.
Danny. Can you explain a little bit about how that software is going to be used by the community partners in terms of the tablets and so forth?
Yeah, so we have secured grant funding that will allow us to provide them the software, as well as tablets are involved in that contract. So what this project manager will do in line with those communities is sit down and see who has technology today, who has expiring contracts, who doesn't have technology, outline how many employees need to be trained, how that vendor is going to do the training. And then as that that vendor is selected early next year, working with them and those communities to create that implementation schedule and then make sure all of the training and our implementations go accordingly. So the goal of that software, as we'll talk about early next year, have a unified passenger database, the ability to have unified dispatch if that's a need, or if a community doesn't have somebody in a dispatch center, we would potentially have the ability to see where those drivers are, really making sure that service delivery goes off very seamlessly across all 3 counties. And in the event there is a service disruption, that somebody can maneuver those trips so that we can reduce some of the impacts of canceling rides on riders because of a breakdown. So having more of a global perspective is kind of the goal of that separate procurement.
Great. Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Danny. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Been moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, Mr. Burt, next, we're gonna go to 12E, a resolution for authorization to award a contract for partitions and stanchion poles for 18 transit vans.
It's the recommendation that the board adopts the attached resolution authorizing the award of a contract for the purchase and installation of partitions and stanchion poles for 18 transit vans to Holsters Transportation at an amount not to exceed $60,239.34. Smart has procured prepared transit vans manufactured by Holster Transportation to OEM for its fleet. These vans are configured differently from the cutaways currently in use. As a result, the vans need to be configured with partitions and stanchion poles to house the technology units used by our operators. To ensure seamless integration and avoid warranty issues, Smart has contracted with the OEM to develop and install the customized partitions and stanchion poles. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Burton. I think this is the first time I've ever said stanchion, so really appreciate that opportunity. Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Been moved,
Second.
been supported. Any discussion? Seeing, oh, Mr. Manico.
This is a sole source contract.
Yes, it is.
All righty. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All righty, Ryan, we are now going to 12F, a resolution for authorization of contract amendment number 4 to increase funding for Trapeze Software Group, Inc. to add Owl Runs software configuration.
Thank you. It is the recommendation of the Finance and Bus Operations Department that the board adopt the attached resolution for contract amendment number 4 to Trapeze Software to increase funding cost not to exceed $68,723. Smart is in the process of upgrading the Trapeze software, which is our dispatch software, for certain adjustments we made as part of our collective bargaining. During this process, we've identified additional processes regarding our owl runs, which is what we colloquially call the shift differential for late people driving buses late. To eliminate manual processes to help save time in the overall dispatching and payroll processes. All other contract terms remain unchanged, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate the update on that end. Any questions from members of the board? Seeing none, Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Been moved,
I'll support.
supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Cassandra, we are going to do 12G, a resolution for authorization to award a contract for phone system service and phone service support.
Good afternoon.
Howdy.
Chair and members of the board. Smart recommends that the board adopt the attached resolution authorizing the award of a contract for phone system service and phone service support to Celtic Corp., also known as Teoma Systems, located in Troy, Michigan. This is for a one-year contract with 2 one-year renewal option periods at an amount not to exceed $100,159.91 for a one-year base contract beginning January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026, and amounts not to exceed $103,874.84 for option year 1 and $107,589.77 for option year 2, for a total amount not to exceed $311,624.52 for 3 years. Smart is currently reviewing and seeking to enhance its telecommunications capabilities and has determined that it is essential to continue with the current contractor, Teoma Systems, for telephone system and support. Continuing with Teoma is crucial for ensuring business continuity and for telecommunications throughout the authority, while we are initiating a comprehensive review and analysis of our current phone system. SMART's IT department is currently reviewing all of its contracts to assess our technology needs moving forward in order to ensure effective communication and to maximize operational efficiencies. In light of these factors, I respectfully request the board's approval to proceed. This concludes my recommendation. I welcome any questions you may have.
Cassandra, thank you so much for the update on this agenda item. Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Been moved,
Support.
supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you to all the members of the staff for everything in new business today. Next, we'll move on to item 13, board member business. Any items to discuss from members of the board today? Once, twice, three times. We won't do that. And everyone's favorite agenda item, item number 14, adjournment. Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Been moved?
Support.
Supported? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Everyone have a wonderful holiday season. Thanks for hanging out today.